Hello, my name is Saida Nairobi, and welcome to my YouTube video where I will be sharing with you some self-publishing tips as well as a step-by-step checklist that will hopefully serve as a guide to help you navigate your respective self-publishing journey to release that book. Yay! Okay, so let's get started with the checklist. I'm going to share my screen. So my self-publishing checklist starts with having the book completely written. Now, when I say having it completely written, I don't mean that it's a perfectly fleshed out book. This means having it completely written in its super raw format. This is the first draft that I'm talking about, where it was like, I want to write this book. This is what I want to write about, and it's done. That could be 300 pages. That's where you're gonna get an editor to chop that thing on down. Maybe you got a 3-part book in you. Maybe it is a 300-page book. What I did was create an outline. So I wrote down what the topics were that I wanted to cover in my book. So I highly recommend having an outline just to give you a guidepost to what it is that you want to share in this book. It's the fourth section in my checklist, but it's actually the second step that I took for my self-publishing journey. After I completely wrote the book, I hired an editor, and she gave me the option to do developmental editing or technical editing. And I knew that I wanted, because this was my first book, someone that could just kind of help me flesh out the fat and get to the meat of my book. And that's exactly what she did. She chopped down that 300-page book that I started with, and we got it down to 168 pages. And we just found the flow for it, so that one chapter was going into the other, and it was just this nice dance from beginning to end. If you hire a technical editor, that's where they are like a proofreading editor. So they suss out the punctuation marks, the grammar, just those technical tidbits that make sure that there isn't anything grammatically that could serve as a distraction to your book. So you can go through both options. You can have a developmental editor that helps to dissect the book and make sure that all the meat that you want to cover is there, and it just takes and eliminates any long drawn out overemphasized points and thoughts, and just making sure that it's really just solid and polished and nicely tuned to perfection. And then you can have the technical editor that just makes sure those little technical details of punctuation and grammar is all settled and good. So then you want to go to the next step, which is creating your book cover. You have the front cover and the back cover to consider, and you can either have something illustrated for your book, or you can have a photographer create an image. So for my book, I chose to have a photographer for both the front and the back, and you would have them give you a copy of your front and back in a PDF format, because that is the format. If you're using Amazon to self-publish your book, you would use a PDF format to upload your book cover. Once you've started the process of creating the front and back of your book, you also want to focus on creating the details about your book and also a bio about you, the author. So for my book, the details section would also be uploaded onto your Amazon page, so that anyone that goes to your book link will be able to see what your book is about. So you want to create what your book is about. And then you also want to create your bio, because you also have the option to upload a bio to your Amazon page so that people can learn about you, the author. So we've talked about having the book completely written, and that there will be a first draft, a second draft, a third draft. And the first draft, you just let it be completely raw. Don't try to correct anything. Just let it flow creatively. And then those other drafts will be from the communication and interaction with your editor, if you so choose to have one. And then you also have your front and back cover created. And then you also write your bio and the details about what your book is about. Once you've completed those steps, then you want to select the platform for self-publishing. I've used BookBaby as well as Amazon. I started off with BookBaby, and then I ended up going with Amazon. BookBaby was totally fine. I did a sample print of my book to see how the quality would look. It was decent. However, Amazon had more of an opportunity for me to reach a global audience. And I loved just their overall process for uploading the information that they needed. And also they are just a global distribution company. So for them to have a self-publishing platform, I felt like it was just a win-win. I'm on Amazon all the time. So and that's also where I buy a lot of my books. From fellow authors. So it's just a really great platform for authors. And I really completely have only positive things to say about using Amazon for your self-publishing. But BookBaby is also a great platform. And I've also heard that Lulu is great. There are some YouTube videos from other authors that have shared their reviews of their experience with using Lulu as a self-publishing platform, and you can check those out. After you've selected your platform, you want to also establish if you want to have a paperback copy or hardcover. I chose to use a paperback cover for my book. I don't have it included on the checklist, but another thing that you can consider is if you want to release the book via Kindle, which will be an ebook release. And Amazon makes that a super easy process as well. I chose to do an ebook release as well as a paperback. The size of my book is 5x8, but you can also select 6x9 as well as a plethora of other book sizes. I would just print out samples. If you aren't sure, you can print out a 9x6 sample, or you can print out a 5x8 just to kind of see what works best for what you want to release. So after you have selected the platform for your self-publishing, you've established if you want to have a paperback, hardcover, ebook, all the above, one of the above, you want to hire an interior formatting designer. Now you can do this step yourself. I chose to hire an interior formatting designer. She was amazing and was super expeditious at the process. And it just allowed me to focus on registering my copyright and purchasing the ISBN. Hiring an interior formatting designer freed me up to be able to focus on some other steps that needed to be taken to complete my self-publishing journey. So I highly recommend hiring an interior formatting designer because it is a tedious process, and you do want to make sure that your book looks polished and clean because it is a body of work that you are releasing to the masses, and you just, it's your precious work and you want it to be as beautiful as possible. So if you can incorporate having an interior formatting designer, please do so. I share who I used in the link below. When you hire your interior formatting designer, you do want to communicate whether you plan to release an ebook so that she can or he can format your manuscript for an ebook release, because the format for ebook is going to be different from the manuscript for actual physical book. Once your interior formatting designer has sent you back your completed manuscript ready to go, you can upload your manuscript to copyright.gov so that you can register it with the government and secure your work. And here I will show you the website. It's copyright.gov. You would click on registration, go to literary works, scroll down, click on register a literary work, and then it'll take you through the process to register your information as a new user, fill it out, and then it'll take you step by step so that you can upload your manuscript and secure your work. After you have registered with copyright.gov, you also want to purchase an ISBN. An ISBN stands for the International Standard Book Number. It's basically like the Social Security number of your book. You can purchase multiple ISBNs that you can use for future bodies of work that you release. But once it's yours, it's yours. And I use Bowker Identifier Services to purchase my ISBN. I also use Bowker Identifier Services to make a barcode. And you want to make a barcode for your physical copies of your book. Amazon would, of course, publish your book with a barcode on it. But if you're going to have physical copies made, you're going to want to have the back cover of your book created with your barcode, your ISBN, and the price of your book. As you can see here, is the barcode. And then across here is my ISBN and then the price for my book. And then you would have this as a part of the back cover format for your book so that when you have it printed, that information is already on here and you're good to go. And the website for Bowker is myidentifiers.com. And I will share that link in this video page. Now the fun part. So, a little recap. So far, we've completely written the book. We've hired an editor. We have fleshed out this beautiful work. We have created a front and back cover. We've written our bio and the details about our book. We've selected what platform we want to self-publish our book. We've established if it's going to be a paperback, hardcover, ebook. We've gotten the interior of the book formatted. We've registered with copyright.gov to protect our work. We've purchased the ISBNs. We've purchased barcodes. And now we are going to upload to the distribution company. I used Amazon KDP. And here's the page. The website is kdp.amazon.com. Once you create your account on that page, you will go to Bookshelf. And here is where you will create a paperback or you'll create an ebook. It'll give you one of those options to upload. So I clicked on paperback. And here I'm showing you what it looks like once you select to create a paperback. You will fill in what the primary language of the book is, what the book title is, if it's a series, those details, your name, your information, any contributors, that includes the editor, illustrators, photographers, anyone that maybe wrote a foreword for your book or any additional authors. The description, this is where you will put in the details about the book. So the description isn't your bio, but this is the description for the book. So this is where you would insert that information. You would click that you own the copyright and you hold the necessary publishing rights. And then here you would put the keywords that describe your book. And you have the option to choose up to 7. And it says here that search keywords help readers find your book when they browse the Amazon site, which is another reason why I love it. Because I mean, Amazon is killing the game. So this is great that they give you the option to choose keywords that describe your book so that audiences and customers can find your book when they're browsing certain topics. Then you can also choose up to 2 browse categories. And they explain to you why categories are important, because the browse category is the section of the Amazon site where users can find your book. So it's like if it was in a physical bookstore, what section would your book be placed? Would it be in the fictional section, the autobiography section, the travel section, you name it? Once you fill out those steps, it'll save, you'll continue, and then you will go to the paperback content. This is where you will upload your manuscript. Yay! So you will insert your ISBN that you purchased. Now, Amazon does allow you to get a free KDP ISBN. You can do that. I was advised to just purchase your ISBN separately and then just add it to your self-publishing platform. But you have the option to do one or the other. Then you would select your publication date. Here you will select your print options. You have the option to choose black and white interior, premium color interior, cream paper print, or white paper print, and then also your trim size. Your trim size is how your book will be printed. Again, mine is a 5x8, but you can select 6x9, and they also give you a variety of different sizes and options. The bleed settings, most people opt not to have a bleed setting, but the setting your interior to bleed allows printing at or off the edge of the page. So usually you do no bleed because that keeps it clean inside of the book where it stays within the lines and it doesn't come into the creases of the book. So no bleed setting. And then you decide if you want to have a matte or glossy finish. This is a glossy finish, but I also printed in matte because I wanted to see the difference. And for me, I prefer the glossy finish. And here you upload your manuscript. Usually your manuscript is in DOC or DOCX, HTML or RTF format. Normally the interior formatting designer would send you back your manuscript in a DOC file, as well as your editor. Then here you can either create your book cover through KDP's stock images and cover creator option, or you can upload a cover that you've already have ready to go in a PDF format. Once you've uploaded your cover and your manuscript, this will highlight and you have the option to launch your previewer, and that'll show you how your book will look on Amazon. Now, I have a lot of information that I would need to put in here in order to go to the next step. But the next step, as you can see, would be paperback rights and pricing. So this is where you select what countries you want to have the book released in and how much you want to charge your book for. And that's all in that last step. And then they process your information. And then you have the option to also order a copy, a sample copy, so that you can see what it looks like. And then you can go live, baby, and your book is ready to be published. 2 other steps that I want to cover is to order physical copies from a book printing service. Now, this is a tip. This is not something that you have to do, but I would advise that you have some physical copies on deck, ready to go, and you can order from your local book printing service. I include in the link below the 2 local book printing services that I've used in Atlanta, but I highly recommend ordering physical copies just to have on deck, ready to go to sell to potential customers. And then you want to promote and sell your beautiful body of work. So for one last recap, we have written the book, we've created the front and back cover, we have written our author bio that will be uploaded to our self-publishing platform, and we've also written a description for the book. We've hired an editor for developmental editing or for technical editing or for both. We've selected a platform for self-publishing. We've established that it's a paperback, a hardcover, or ebook. We've hired or completed the interior formatting design for the book. We have registered with copyright.gov to protect our work. We've purchased the ISBNs, the barcodes, and we have uploaded our work to the distribution company. We've ordered some physical copies from a book printing service. And last but not least, we are promoting and we are selling. I hope that you have enjoyed this information, that it has been extremely helpful and useful to you in your respective self-publishing journey. Know that there is nothing that can get in the way of you doing what you are called and led to do. This self-publishing journey is amazing. It is gratifying when you know that you have put your heart and soul into something and you can see it come to fruition. And I wish you so much success in your journey. Lastly, Leap of Faith is available on Amazon. Right now, you can order a copy if you haven't already done so. Thank you for your time and for listening to this video. Bye for now.